Hey guys, MC Mura here, and as you probably can tell by my voice, I've been pretty sick lately for the past couple of days or so. That's why I've not been putting out a lot of videos. So I've been away for a while, and the good thing about being away is that you really get to observe the game. You get to watch a lot and really think about what you're seeing. And lately I've been thinking about some supers and what makes them so good, and generally how things work in this game. So as you know, in Street Fighter 6, characters got 3 different levels of super. This is Cammy's level 1, for example, and level 1 supers across the board, they are very samey, I would say. All of them are hits. All of them, with the exception of like DJ, I believe, got physical invincibility, but not projectiles. Most of them can be used for combos. They are very samey. Right, is what I'm trying to say. Kind of the same for level 3s as well. Most of them are like hits that will trigger a cinematic. Yes, there are grabs, but for the most part, it's like an attack that will trigger a cinematic, and then there's like fixed drive gauge regeneration, does very fixed damage of drive to your opponent, so very samey. It's really level 2 supers where you get to see some weird oddities in this game, and you get to see a lot of variants. Level 2 super is where the sauce is at. This is Cammy's level 2 super, right? So it's a single hit will transition an animation against a grounded opponent, and take a look at this. Right, very standard, very fixed, right, very standard. Now Cammy does have another variant, which is like against an airborne opponent. But take a look at this, right? After I did it, I was able to follow up with a juggle, and Cammy was able to build up a little bit of gauge, and I could have followed up on this combo with even like more juggles, right? And Chun-Li is kind of similar as well. Right, Chun-Li, I can combo into her level 2 super. This gave me an air juggle. I will do a follow-up combo, and I get to build back a little bit of gauge, right? So there are characters like Cammy and Chun who can follow up on their level 2 hits, and they get combos. Others like Ryu, they can't, or like DJ, etc., right? I guess with DJ you can if you do like the non-ender. But anyways, this is the first type of supers, right? Some are just straight hits, some are hits that you can follow up on. Now, there are other kind of supers in this game. This is what you would call an install super, right? It's pretty much a power-up state, right? So Guile here is a character that got an install super. Let's do his level 2. Come on! And he will start like throwing these booms, right? And take a look at this, right? What's interesting about Guile is if I hit Aki, right? So I did hit her a couple of times, I'm landing hits, but take a look at this. You will notice that Guile didn't build back any gauge during his level 2 super. Right, I didn't build any gauge. Now notice this, even if I do non-related super attacks, like for example here I'm grabbing Aki and I'm doing like combos, I'm not really utilizing the level 2 buff. I'm still not getting. But if I do this, for example, now that the super run out, he is getting back some gauge, right? So if I hit her with a boom, as soon as the super is actually out, or I guess the hitbox of the thing that was enhanced by super actually hit Aki after the timer is over, Guile gets gauge. But if I go for grabs, any hit during the activation, I'm not building any bar, right? And this rule is consistent among all of the install super characters. Like for Blanca is kind of the same deal, right? I can activate his level 2 super, the Wild Beast. I'm landing hits on Aki, right? I'm not getting back any gauge. If I go for like a grab here, if I go for a couple of hits, nothing. I'm still stuck at level 1 super, right? So this is very interesting for installs. Now there are other characters that got some really weird exceptions. Let's for example here at first Big JP. JP's level 2 super is widely considered to be one of the best in the game, right? It follows the rule of Kami from the first one, where here, for example, I'm gonna do a follow-up combo, right? Notice this, I did some hits even after the level 2 hitbox was gone, and I'm not getting any gauge back. So any combo involving his level 2 super, he doesn't get to build gauge. This kind of follows suit with the installs, right? Anyway, because Guile Boom was still building some gauge if the timer was over, but yes, if I did a combo, I'm not building any gauge. Right. It's not this one. Let's do it one more time so you get to see what I mean, right? Right? The combo is still going. No critical gauge build for JP, right? But what really happens is typically we'll activate this one on block, and let's say that the opponent is going for a drive parry, right? I go for a grab here and take a look at this. JP actually built almost like a half a bar on this punish counter grab, right? So this means that this super gave JP a mix, and effectively it's a 1.5 bar super. It's not really a 2 bar super, it's a 1.5 bar super. Now let's check another example where this gets really egregious, right? And this is now have probably become like the best super in the game, and that is Rashid's level 2 super. Now Rashid's level 2 super, just like JP, kind of follows a weird mix where if I, let's make her not block. If I landed the hit, right? Now they're in juggle state, the follow-up hits, I'm not building any gauge, right? Like a lot of these hits came after the initial activation, but I'm still not building any bar on this juggle, right? I'm not really getting any bar, right? But if I landed a hit outside of the tornado, right? Like this spinning mixer was enhanced by the tornado, it actually built me some gauge. Right? So Rashid actually built some bar on this combo. Now let's check out a situation that happens all the time, right? Tell me if you've seen this before from Rashid, right? Confused. Right? I get the first grab, I get the second grab, and now I got a mix. And notice this, because for some reason the grab is considered to be like a regular hit that doesn't have anything to do with his super, Rashid is actually building back a ton of gauge. This was almost practically like a 1 bar activation, and this happens all the time. Like you typically will go for this drive parry because of this. Like Rashid can go for an overhead, right, and follow up on it. He can check you low, and if you happen to get hit, you're eating a ton of damage. So typically you will actually try to go for this drive parry, right? Like I said, this happens all the time. This is like a very practical sequence, right? Obviously here I went for overboard, but yeah, it seems like there is no consistent rule across the board, right? I'm guessing that this might be an oversight by Capcom, because I don't understand why with Kami's and with Shun's level 2 supers, like why is it when I activate with them and I get like a juggle after the hit, they get to build bar, but Rashid doesn't. But at the same time, Rashid got an active hitbox on the screen. It's sort of an install, but at the same time, like if he happened to hit you outside and the hit wasn't, I guess the super wasn't involved in the hit, you didn't get hit technically by the super, Rashid builds gauge. It's totally weird. What do you think about all of this? What do you think about some of these oddities? Like I tell you, it's level 2 supers where things get really interesting in this game. They are the ones with the most variety. I would love to hear your thoughts about all of this in the comment section below. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. It helps the channel so much. We'll be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.